Speaking in the Lok Sabha, the Minister for Planning said, I had indicated to the House earlier in this session that the government would share with Parliament a mid-term appraisal of the performance and prospects of the fourth plan. We had completed a detailed evaluation of the progress of the plan when hostilities with Pakistan began earlier this month. As a result of the new situation, the uncertainties that had been introduced into our economic scene by the massive influx of refugees from Bangladesh have become more complex and pervasive. Given this context, honorable members will appreciate that it will not be realistic at the present time to formulate a reasonably clear outline of the prospects for the remaining period of the plan. Such an outline will have to take into account these new challenges on the one hand and provide for a reorientation to the plan to respond in greater measure to the needs of our people on the other. Nevertheless, our detailed assessment of the first half of the plan that is now behind us is helpful in bringing out our achievements as well as in locating the sectors, projects and programs to which further attention needs to be paid urgently to rectify the shortfalls that are emerging. It is in order to enable such a constructive process of all-round improvement that we have decided to place before Parliament an analysis of planned progress in the last 3 years. Although we are unable to complete the exercise, which might have been possible if times were normal, by supplying an outlook for the remainder of the plan. Accordingly, I have placed on the table of the House copies of the document containing a mid-term appraisal of the fourth plan. I must apologize for the fact that this has become a lengthy document. The Hindi version is under preparation and will be got printed and circulated separately. We are also preparing a summary which will shortly be made available to members of the Parliament. In the coming months, sustained attention will have to be given by the centre, the state governments and the public sector institutions to the findings of the document. Our effort will be to use it as a working basis for undertaking the several measures required, whether they are policy changes, administrative improvements, financial measures, or the initiation of new projects and programs in order to achieve and maintain better performance in the various sectors of the development. I shall not attempt to summarize once again the facts and conclusions contained in this document. Instead, my purpose today is to highlight a few aspects of economic management and plan performance to which urgent and purposive attention is necessary, all the more because of the emergency we are passing through and what we may anticipate of its aftermath. It is clear that the increased requirements arising from the defense effort and for assisting Bangladesh will make an additional demand on our financial, physical and manpower resources as well as on foreign exchange. It is therefore of paramount importance to stimulate and mobilize savings in the economy on the one hand and to use our resources with maximum economy and efficiency on the other. Increased savings are directly a function of increased production and incomes and of restraint on all non-essential consumption. We have to ensure that the savings of the community, whether it is in the household sector or in the corporate sector, public or private, are raised to a higher level in a sustained manner. It is equally necessary to capture a larger proportion of the savings for the public sector in order to undertake priority investment as also to sustain public consumption on essential social outlays such as education, health, water supply, nutrition, etc. The necessary effort for resource mobilization can be undertaken and sustained to an adequate extent only if the burden of sacrifice is equitable and the weaker sections of the people are protected. For both growth and social justice, price stability is an essential infrastructure. Government are conscious of the need to undertake urgent concrete steps for price stabilization so that the inflationary pressures on the horizon are avoided and both income and investments are duly safeguarded. We have to particularly emphasize Price stability, because cost and price increases that have taken place since the plan was formulated are themselves likely to result in shortfalls in the plan in the real terms as to original financial outlays. We have to increase production as rapidly as possible and all round, whether it is in agriculture or industry or power. Results can be achieved in the short term only if highest priority is given to better utilization of capacity, for which there is great scope and potential in each of these areas. We are engaged in detailed exercise for identifying the measures necessary to increase output in public and private sector industries. On the basis of these inquiries, necessary steps will need to be implemented in a time-bound manner. At the same time, we will have to improve our procedures and our capacity for creating new starts in investment wherever it is required. Our detailed examination of the plan has pinpointed areas in which creation of additional capacity is absolutely necessary. This will have to be followed up. Recent events have once again endorsed the objective in the plan, which calls for greater self-reliance. Although currently our balance of payments position may be regarded as being very satisfactory, one can foresee that it will be under increasing pressure in the coming months. The emphasis we have placed on export promotion will not only have to be sustained but further energized. Import substitution has to be proceed with greater urgency. Here an effective contribution can be made by our scientists and technologists. The National Committee on Science and Technology is already engaged in preparing an emergency program for this purpose. In regard to the plans of the state governments for the coming year, we have formulated certain new guidelines in regard to their levels of outlay and the assistance from the center needed to support these levels. It is imperative that state governments should ensure greater financial discipline by completely avoiding overdrafts hereafter and make an increased effort for mobilizing additional resources.